Hey everyone, Elena here. Welcome back to my channel, Every Day with Elena.
Let's rock, let's rock.
Can you ride for me? Oh baby, not stopping me. Can you take it to the top of me? I just wanna love you, baby. Always thinking of you, baby. Can you roll with me? Oh baby, all over me. Can you take control of me?
Now today's video is about my experience getting the semi-permanent powder brow. Similar to microblading, however, with microblading, they are making little strokes that look just like eyebrows to make it look like natural eyebrows. For the powder brow, it's for them to give the look that they have been filled in naturally, and so you don't have to fill them in. It took me a while to decide which one I wanted to do. For the longest time, I was really focused on microblading. However, eventually I decided on going with the powder brow, simply because I love the look of microblading and I love the look of natural brows. However, I also have a lot of trouble filling in my own brows. I'm not a makeup artist by any means. And so I wanted something that I could just wake up and anytime I did my makeup, I didn't have to even think about filling in my brows with an eyebrow pencil or anything like that. So that's why ultimately I chose the powder brow. Now, I did record this experience on my old iPhone before I had any of the setup that I have right now. So I recorded this in bits and pieces with my iPhone vertically. So just so you know, this is not going to be a high definition video by any means, but this was kind of one of my first takes at recording for YouTube. But it took me a long time to even post it just because of how I felt about it. So finally, I put the pieces together and I was like, you know what? It may not be the best or the most quality content, but I'm going to go ahead and upload this baby and share it for anybody who is maybe thinking about getting their brows done, maybe thinking about doing a semi-permanent powder brow. I did do the ombre. I forgot to mention that. I did do the ombre powder brow, which is where they do the light shading at the top and then fill it in more toward the end. So you can see here, they are not filled in whatsoever. This is all the tattoo. This is all the powder brow. And I don't have to do anything with them. And it's so nice because they're just there. In this video, I will take you through the different emotions that I felt and that I was experiencing throughout this process, feeling like maybe I shouldn't have done this or feeling like I don't know if this was the right choice for me, and then moving into loving it. So I'll take you through all of that as well. I didn't get to take you inside with me while the process was being done, unfortunately. However, I do my best to try to explain it as much as possible. At the end of this video, I will come back on and I will explain a little bit more of anything that I might have left out from this series of videos. I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. I'm here for my appointment. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. I'm just a very natural person. Excited because I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. And at the same time, I'm also, I'm very pro-natural. So I just hope that they look as natural as possible. And I'm glad it's semi-permanent. It's not like permanent. If you look at my eyebrows as they are now, I haven't had them waxed in a long ass time, but they're super thin and they're also uneven. You can tell right here. This one comes to where it's supposed to. This one stops about right here. And then I have this slit that happened when a lady waxed them too thin. The hair there never grew back. You can kind of like see it here. It used to look a lot worse, but it's been years, 10 years, over 10 years since that happened, and the hair just has never grown back. And so I've tried everything, you guys. I've done the castor oil. I've tried different products that were supposed to be like the best to help everything grow back, and like it doesn't work. And like the growth here stopped completely. So yeah, like, and I hate filling them in. I dread it every time. And then whenever I do get them waxed, like they're still, like they look good, but they're still too thin. They're so thin. And so anyhow, I'm excited. Okay, so they are done. So generally the first day it's going to look a lot more bold than how they're going to actually be. So the color will fade, and during the healing process, it'll, like, I guess, scab off a little bit, and then it'll be like how it's supposed to look. So right now it looks a little crazy. I have to like remind myself that this isn't how they're gonna look like whenever they're finished completely. But I mean, the shape is great and everything. Like, she did a good job. I'm tired, y'all. I'm so tired. I haven't had any caffeine today. About to go get some coffee now. Now that I can. But it was just a long process. I was in there for just a little over 3 hours, and I'm super impatient. I am not a patient person. It doesn't matter if I'm getting my hair done, fuzz in my hair from the pillow. It doesn't matter if I'm getting my hair done, my nails done, wax, whatever. Like, I'm just such an impatient person. And so I was like, I just want to be done. I am excited for the healing process. I can't wet them for 48 hours, so I can't like shower or wash my face or sweat for 48 hours. So no workout or hot works for me, no sauna. Yeah, and so I will just continue to track the healing process, and then eventually I'll do a video on like just the process itself, how it felt and all of that. I'm just so tired right now. I need some coffee and I need to eat. So we'll catch up. I'll do another like check-in video tomorrow so you can see how they look the day after. It's day 2. I am wearing the same hoodie as I was wearing yesterday because I don't go into work until 3 today. As she said, they would get a little bit darker, and so that's like part of the healing process, is they get darker before they fade and get lighter and look more natural. So this is where they are right now. So it's been less than 24 hours since they've been finished. They feel fine. I had a really rough night last night sleeping. I just felt really anxious. I felt very like unsettled. And I don't know if this ever happens to anybody. I know for me, a lot of times whenever I'm asleep, I will make things bigger than what they are. I don't know what that's about, or I get more anxious in my sleep for some reason. So something that in waking life isn't really too much of a big deal to me, in my sleep, I will like make it 10 times bigger than what it is, if that makes sense. So in my sleep, I kept like having this idea that my brows looked way worse than this, that they were too much, that they didn't fit my face. And I was just tossing and turning and tossing and turning, and just, I guess the idea of them staying like this is what was really getting to me, even though I know that that's not what's going to happen. And I did so much research on this before I did them. Like, I didn't just go out on a you know, whim and be like, I'm gonna just go get my eyebrows done. Like, I did a lot of research. I was looking at before and afters like crazy. I was looking at like, you know, healed brows versus when they're just done. Like, I was really, you know, gonna make sure like this was something that I wanted to do. And so, yeah, I think there's just a part of me that feels like I betrayed myself in a way, because I am such a pro-natural person. And so I know it's not forever. I know the makeup or the brows last, you know, they can last up to 3 years. And then after that, like, if they fade and they're gone and I don't want them again, then I don't have to do it again. It's just one of those things where I have to keep reminding myself, like, you're going through the healing process, and they're not gonna look the way that you want them to overnight. You know, it's the same thing with life. Like, the things that we most look forward to, the things that we want to finish, the things we want to complete, successes that we want to reach, the achievements we want to hit, aren't going to happen overnight. It's a process. If anybody's ever been on an inner healing journey, which we're always healing all the time, or, you know, there's always going to be something to heal, it's not an overnight process either. And I definitely learned that over the last, you know, 5-6 years. But yeah, so I feel a little insecure about them just because they're so bold right now and I'm just not used to it. And I know that they're going to calm down and they're going to look, natural eventually. But just getting there is a lot. But anyway, like I said, I didn't sleep well last night. I also had a really, really bad headache. I don't think it was from getting the brows done, because I had a headache a couple days prior. That just kept coming whenever I would wake up. I think it was just a continuation of whatever might be going on in my body. I might have like a sinus infection or something. But I think on top of the headache that I was already experiencing the last couple of days before this, that the anxiety I was feeling, the nervousness I was feeling, the thinking, the being in my head, about doing this was really, really causing it to hurt worse. And the brows were a little bit sore, so that could have played into it too. But I think just all the factors involved, like I did not feel well. Like my head was just throbbing all night. And then there was the part of me that was like, don't sleep too hard. Don't sleep on them. Like, don't get them on the pillow. Like, just overthinking everything. And it was really hard to get any rest last night. So I'm hoping that I am able to get more rest tonight. I go into work this afternoon and I'm a little nervous about that too. Not nervous, but like, I just feel like I'm going to have to constantly explain to everybody, like, they're going to heal, like they're going to calm down a little bit. This isn't how they're supposed to look, like, and that's just me being me. Like, I feel like I always have to explain things to people, even when they don't probably need an explanation or don't care to have one. But yeah, so that's where I am on day 2. Check in again in a couple of days and see how they're going, cooking and stuff like that. But for now, I know that they're supposed to get darker. Eventually they'll start scabbing, and that's whenever the real color will come through after the scabbing. So thanks for coming on this journey with me. I'll check in with you soon. Hi, so we are on day 8 of my eyebrows, and as you can see, they're a little patchy now. So this is basically part of the healing process where they start to scab up and then the scab just kind of comes off. So you'll see like in the corner here where it's a little bit lighter, that's part of the ombre, so it's going to be lighter up front, of course, but I'm going to lighten that first. So once the scabbing kind of comes undone, then they're supposed to go really light, and then they come back into full form, which will be the natural color, which will be lighter than this, not as light as they're about to turn, if that makes sense. Very much growing on me. I had a rough, first and second day with like, did I do the right thing? Did I make the right decision? I have become very happy with them. My coworkers absolutely love them. Made me feel 10 times better, because I was like, I just feel like it's a lot, and I've gotten so many compliments on them. So really, it's just me getting used to them being there, and again, going through the healing process. But what I do love is whenever I do my makeup and I don't have to do my eyebrows at all. That part is phenomenal. So I just can't wait to see when they are fully healed. Like I said, today is day 8. So it's been tough not being able to really get my face wet. I guess it's supposed to be for the first 10 days. So I haven't, washed my face fully. I haven't done my full skincare routine, which has been weird. I can pat my eyebrows dry or with light damp, a damp towel. I washed my hair today, so I have to in the shower, make sure only my hair gets wet. Try not to let my forehead or any of the rest get wet. It's been a little challenging, but other than that, they're doing well. They're healing well. They do get itchy, so sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to scratch, and I'm I kind of do this number underneath and right above, and it releases a little bit of itch, but I can't like, you know, scratch. So yeah, but there's no pain at all. First night I had a major headache, like I said, and I did feel soreness, but that's all like subsided completely. I will check in again in a couple of days. Okay, so update. It has been 4 months now, almost 4 months to the date since I got my eyebrows done, and I love them. I am so happy that I, you know, went with the decision to go ahead and get them done. I was nervous about it. As you saw, I was, you know, a little conflicted in my feelings because I was like, I've never wanted to really mess with my face or mess with any of my natural, you know, my natural face. And so I was a little bit conflicted, you know, thinking, I hope I haven't made the wrong decision. I just didn't want my face to look different from itself, you know? So, but I also think that eyebrows definitely shape the face, and she did an amazing job. She did an incredible job. I love them. They are not filled in. So if you're looking at them right now, this is the permanent, this is the tattoo powder brow. I have not touched them. I never have to fill them in. Like, I wake up and this is how they are. I take a shower, this is how they are. I wash my face like normal. Of course, there were like, I had to do a lot of weeks without touching my eyebrows, without completely washing my face, without sweating and that sort of thing. But now I can sweat, I can, you know, I can do it all. And I don't have to touch them. I'm not wearing any makeup at all right now. But even if I were doing, you know, like all the basics and stuff, I still don't have to fill in my eyebrows. And it's I can't explain to you how nice it is, especially being someone who was not good at filling in her eyebrows, like, and I just like hated it. It was like a chore to me. Also, my eyebrows naturally were just so uneven, so thin, so it just wouldn't grow, very spaced out, just, you know, so it was like I had to do one or the other. And I just felt like they weren't shaping my face the right way. So yeah, so I am very, very proud of the job she did. She did an incredible job. She was super, super sweet, knew exactly what I wanted, and I've gotten so many compliments on them. Since then, you know, people have told me, wow, your eyebrows are like shaped really nicely, or what do you use to fill them in? They look so good. And I'm like, they are tattooed. And so I got my eyebrows waxed for the first time this morning in like at least 6 months. And my hair doesn't really grow a lot, but I did used to get my eyebrows waxed at least once a month. And so this is the first time I had to get them waxed, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know that has anything to do with the tattooing. I have no idea, but I just like, I didn't really have to get them waxed at all. Just like here recently, they started to grow out more. And then I was noticing, you know, all the stubble and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I think it's time to go ahead and get a wax. And so the girl who waxed my eyebrows, she was like, oh my gosh, like, do you have, are your eyebrows microbladed, or do you have the powder brow? And I told her I have the powder brow. And she was like, they look great, like they look amazing. She was like, she did an incredible job. And I was like, thank you. And so she waxed, you know, the areas that needed to be waxed, and like, it just is so, I love it. I love it. It is a semi-permanent procedure, or I don't know if procedure is the right word, but semi-permanent thing. So it can last anywhere from 1 to 3 years, I think. I'm excited, and I would definitely do it again whenever they fade away. I don't want them to fade away, but if that happens, you know, hopefully not sooner than later, maybe I will hit that 3-year mark. I'll check in with you, do an update like in a year or something, or like a year from whenever I got them done. So anyway, if you're thinking about it, I highly suggest it. Look around, you know, and you could get a great deal. Like, I was able to get a really good deal because, one, I was referred by the ladies who do my nails, and I trust them. They've been doing my nails for over a year, and like, so I trust them. And this esthetician is one of their friends. And so I knew, like, coming from the nail techs, like, that she would likely be really good. And she had also just recently done one of the nail tech's brows, and her brows looked really good. So they referred me to her, and she had just started a new business. She had been an esthetician for years, working in, a salon. She just branched out and started her own business in her own studio. She was very kind in just giving me, like, a first-timers type of discount, and also because she needed models for, to be able to get the word out that she's doing this. And so all I have to say about that is, like, don't feel like you have to go to the most expensive one or to the overly priced places, because trust me, I was looking at this for months before I walked into the nail salon to get my nails done, and they were like talking about the girls' brows who had just, like, gotten them done. But I had been researching this for months. I had been looking on Pinterest before and afters. I was looking at all of the care practices. I was following a bunch of different estheticians and people who do brows, I guess brow artists. And I had an appointment made with someone in New Mexico who used to do my eyebrows whenever I lived there. And I love her, and I know she would have done just as an incredible job. She's amazing. Whenever the time that I was gonna go to New Mexico originally and made the appointment, I had to cancel that date because I couldn't go at that time anymore. And so I had to change my schedule. It didn't work with her schedule, and I didn't know when I was gonna go back to New Mexico because I don't really go a lot. So I was like, I don't know when I'm gonna get to go. I was researching, all these other places. I had seen a place in Austin that was, like, had amazing reviews, like incredible reviews and great things about it. And I had looked at their Instagram and their website and everything, and it was like $900, I think, for the procedure. And I was like, I'm not gonna pay $900 for this. Like, that's when I was like, is it really, like, worth that much? And again, like, that was one of the higher end businesses offering it. I had seen some for like $700 or $500 or $400, and the standard was, like, usually around $400. So thankfully I was able to get mine for, like, half of that. So just right around $200 plus tipping. And yeah, like, I'm so satisfied with that. So shop around. Don't be afraid to try out somebody who is newer in business, because they may have worked in a salon, for all for years, or they've had the experience for years, but they just wanted to get out on their own. And honestly, like, people, a lot of the times when you work in, like, a big salon where you've got other people working in the salon, so you've got other brow artists and other waxers and other estheticians, I guess. And if it's like a corporate type place, they're not really getting paid a lot. Like, they're not getting paid for that session the full amount that we are paying for it. Like, they're getting a percentage of that and then a minimum wage. So I strongly support, small businesses and people who are just starting, or people who do have their own businesses, because, I want that money to go to them. So anyway, that's my story with my brow journey. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. But yep, I love my brows.
Hey, you guys, I really hope that you enjoyed watching that. So just to add to any of the conversation that I might have missed, I didn't really go into detail of how it felt on the table and the prep. So the prep for the powder brow was no caffeine at all that morning, which was really hard. So you can see in that original first video, after I get the brows done and I get back into my car, I am so tired. Initially, whenever I arrived, she did a quick consultation with me, asking how I wanted my brows to look. She took a look at how my brows were looking naturally and how she could fix them. We went through a few different ideas of how I wanted them to look. She drew them on first just to make sure, just like any tattoo artist would, right? To make sure that that's the look that we're going for. She handed me a mirror. I looked at him very closely.
She made sure they were even. She was very, very much a perfectionist, which I appreciated, but also, as I mentioned, I'm very impatient. So, but of course, I wanted her to take her time because I wanted her to do the best job that she could. And she did an absolutely amazing job. So she went over them a few times, made sure that's exactly how I wanted them to look before I gave her the okay to go ahead and start the actual needle. When we get into the needle part of things, the big question is, does it hurt? Yes, it doesn't hurt like an actual tattoo would hurt, but it is painful. It was the constant going over one place because essentially she's painting them in, right? So there were parts of it that were painful. Was it painful enough to where I needed to hold somebody's hand or to take a break or where I was at the point of tears? No, it wasn't at that point, thankfully. Not for me, at least. I don't know what anybody else's experience has been. I actually have a pretty high pain tolerance. So I was a bit surprised that it was painful for me, but at the same time, shit hurt. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel great by any means, but it was tolerable. Pain, I could feel myself sweating for sure. And then she goes back over it once the initial tattoo part is done. She goes back over it. She put numbing cream on it the second time. So she finished, she put the numbing cream on, and then she went over them a second time with a second layer. Once she put the numbing cream on, girl, I didn't feel nothing. Okay. That was nice. I was like, I don't feel anything. Like I can just lay here. And so that part was nice. There were little pieces that I did feel after she put on the numbing cream, but it wasn't anything like it was the first round. It did take about 3.5 hours to complete. And you're not to get them wet. You're not to sweat. You're not to wash your face. For the aftercare, I will be honest, I was a little confused on how to care for them afterwards because I had, like I said, done so much research on this that a lot of things that I read said 10 days minimum, that you couldn't sweat, you couldn't get your face wet, you couldn't get your eyebrows wet, you couldn't do any of these things for 10 days minimum. And she told me 48 hours. And so I was like, okay. And I wanted to trust what she said, but I was also very worried that if I did anything wrong, that I would, wipe them off or something would happen and they wouldn't stay. Or somehow I would wash them off. It's nerve-wracking at first. Also, one of my best friends had hers done a few years ago. Now, I don't know if it was the exact same procedure as mine. However, she was told, I think something like 4 to 6 weeks that she couldn't do any activities where she was washing her face or she couldn't sweat or things like that. And hers didn't stick. I don't know what that's about. And so I had that in the back of my mind too, because hers didn't stick. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I have to do this perfectly. So, and then everything I was reading up on Pinterest and different people's stories and shares were like 10 days was the most common that I saw. I was very careful for 10 days. That's just what I decided felt most comfortable for me. So I was nervous after those 10 days still to even pat them or wash my face fully, do my skincare routine, get in the shower and wash my hair without doing this number to not get my eyebrows wet, not sweating, not going to any workouts or being out in the sun for too long. So I did the full 10 days and then I just very carefully went back into each of these things. And I knew also that she would offer a touch up if I needed one. Me being me, I'll be honest with you, I don't even return items to the store, okay? I have a really hard time with making appointments. And because an appointment wasn't set and it was basically on me, I felt like my eyebrows looked fine. I didn't feel like they needed a touch up. So here we are. Again, it's been 8 months. It's now August that I'm recording this video, and I haven't had them touched up. I do plan, however, to have a touch up in December when it meets that 1 year mark. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. But so far, they look great. They look amazing. I haven't had any issues with them. And whenever I do the touch up, I will take you on the touch up journey with me. Okay. If you have any questions about this that I haven't covered, that I haven't answered, or if you've had anything done to your eyebrows and you want to share with our friends in the comments, go ahead. I want this to be a community where we do share things with each other, share tips, share tricks, share things that you experienced. And I'd be happy to read about those things too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.
Love you, babe. Always thinking of you, babe.